Hey there, hello everybody. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where to start here. I just wanted to give you an update, and I'm actually working on a painting. So I think when I fell off the map back in December, I actually had COVID, and it was pretty rough for a little while. Just the maybe 10, 12 days, something like that. But I think maybe just prior to that, maybe the last time that I actually posted a painting video. But besides that, I've actually been building an airplane. Some of you may know that. Some of you may not be aware. I'll actually link my my airplane channel here, just in case some of you are interested in that. So it was really difficult to post a lot of airplane videos and also post a lot of painting videos. But I have to be perfectly honest, I really miss posting painting videos. So I decided that I got to figure out a way to fit it in. So here I am. And I was in North Carolina, let's see, and I took some photographs and things. It's probably been a little over a month ago, and it was actually my parents' 60th wedding anniversary. It was my dad's birthday. He's 83, and you guys have seen my dad multiple times on the channel here. And so while I was there, I was wishing I had brought some stuff to paint with, but most of all, I just wanted to stay kind of close to family and spend as much time with them as I could. So I didn't paint, but I did take some photographs that I found very inspiring. And so it was very early spring, not much in the way of leaves or anything like that. There were a few flowers here and there. Some of the trees had already started to bud out and flower. But I did take some pictures, and some of the scenery, actually, besides the mountains, reminded me a little bit of Michigan. And just some of the plants, I mean, the willow trees, like this particular painting's kind of got some willows on the hillside, and the distant mountains and stuff like that are a nice contrast to that. So I've got the composition. I have a couple of issues with it that I have to adjust, but we'll work on that as we go along here. So anyway, you don't want to listen to me jabber on. You'd probably be more interested in seeing me paint something than that. But I just wanted to say that it's good to be in front of the lens here, knowing that you're on the other side. And for those of you who have reached out to me inquiring about how I'm doing and everything, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And yeah, so let's paint something. All right. So here is one of the issues that I have here with this particular composition. I don't really like the way this hill is coming off the top of the canvas. I'd rather see it coming off of here. So I'm going to actually come in and down this way, down to here, and I'm going to cut through on that, and we'll just sky that in. I like that much better. There is some trees and things that go off the top, but I think that's okay as long as I've got this hillside here, and then these willow trees come in here and kind of up this way, and they're just basically in this region here, and they cover this whole area right here. And then there are just a couple of little pines that are right down in here, kind of those round pine trees. There's one there and here, and then there's another one that sits a little bit lower. There's kind of a yellow one that sits in here, kind of right on this corner here. And then we've got, just so I can keep track of it, we've kind of got some some green grass that runs right through here. Get some more yellow in that. And then there's a little bit of green that runs along, just along the edge here. And as far as green goes, that's about it. So there isn't much more than that in this particular landscape. So maybe just a couple of you know, there's just a little bit kind of growing here and there over on this edge over here. Then we have one tree that comes through here. And it sits down in here, right about here. And one trunk comes up this way and goes all the way off the canvas this way. And then there's another one that actually crosses it, but I'm not going to actually have it cross. I'm going to have it just lay up against it here, and it comes up into the canvas this way. All right, and then we'll just get some blocks in here. Now that we've got the basic sketch going, and obviously with the way these way the hillsides are here, this is just some diminishing values. But these in the distance, I wanted to kind of get that in there first. And these are very very purple. So just going to kind of mix up a violet color here, and I'm just using and it probably needs a little more blue in it. Alizarin crimson and phthalo green yellow shade, phthalo blue green shade. Yeah, that's what that is. And then this distance back here, it's very, very purple. Maybe that's might be just a touch too purple. Might need a little more blue in that. So I'm gonna just blue that up a little bit and lighten it some. So. And that's kind of that far ridge. It's kind of there, and then there's a ridge in front of it that actually has a little more. It's a little darker. Going right here. And it's more rounded, so. And then the further we get back over here, it just kind of fades out. And then it takes on a gray color coming forward. So I'm actually just taking the complement here, and pulling the complement in, so it gets a little gray, a little dusty, kind of when you get down toward the ground. It's a little dusty, a little gray. So I'm just going to throw that one in here. Dusty, smoky. I mean, it is the Smoky Mountains, so. And we're just going to start there. And of course, we'll be refining as we go, as we always do. And one of the things that I've been working on actually is is trying to make sure that there is enough interest in the sky, and not always feeling like I have to stick to what's actually drawn, or I'm sorry, what's actually exist in nature, and trying to allow myself to manipulate what's there without any worry about that. So so what I'm going to do first is just get some titanium white, and I'm going to just put a touch of yellow in it. And I've already got some purple on my brush, so I'm just going to leave it there. Get a little bit of yellow in this, maybe a touch more yellow, maybe a little. There we go. Just trying to warm this up, and let's see how that looks here. That actually looks pretty good. And then I just want to get this scrubbed in up here. This green is going to cause me problems up here in the sky, because I'm going to try and get this out of here. All right. The sky's got a lot of yellow in it, so just kind of letting that play out here. And I'm just gonna put a touch of phthalo blue in that now, just to get some color in here. Just looking for just a tone here. Not, you can refine these colors as we go, so mostly just looking for tone. Kind of made a mess out of that. There's a kind of a blue undertone here on this cloud, and a little bit of a purplish blue. And just to kind of show you where we're going here, it just kind of lives through this area right here. It's like we're seeing the underside of this cloud front. I'm just gonna let that just disappear over here. All right, and this middle tone here is kind of a grayish brown. So I'm just gonna put a little burnt sienna in that kind of greenish gray color I've already got going here, and maybe just a touch of sky color in there. Well, that pretty much killed it. And that's kind of it kind of runs right through here. And we can only see some of this. We can't see all of it, so just gonna kind of let that fade down in there. And all we're trying to do at this point is really just get the canvas covered, so and set up some values at the same time, but we're not being too strict. I like that, so. And then the willows are actually quite red, so I'm going to take some burnt sienna, some alizarin crimson, then I'm going to mix some blue in with that, and we're just going to get a nice kind of reddish brown with some blue. Start with that, see what happens. It's pretty dark, so we'll just tone that out just a little bit. And there we go. So that actually goes up through here. And I want to get that in there right away because I needed to see this relationship between this and this. So and it actually looks pretty good. The sun is over here, so this kind of dark on this backside. He's running downhill to the corner. And then kind of right along this ridge line, we've got a similar color, maybe even slightly darker because it's up close to the sky here. It's actually, and this just needs to be really loose right up here because like a bunch of twigs and stuff, so all right. And we've got much lighter let's just get the tone of this ground cover in here. It's got to be quite a bit lighter. This is like a good middle value here, so we'll just go with this. Definitely going to require a bit of a counter change with some shadow right there in order to pull that off, but we're going to start with this anyway. You notice I'm just trying to work the direction of the brush in the same direction that the ground is moving. That way it helps me with the, like, this is all sloping this way, all the way through here, and then up here, things start to go this direction, so we'll move the brush up and down where we have trees and things in here. But first we just want to kind of indicate this kind of slope, and it kind of comes down and then flattens out where this grass is. So This area right here is a little bit flatter. This is repeated over here, so right over here. If anything, it's lighter and it's got a little more warmth in it, so. All right, and then we got kind of a bluish tone. It's kind of a gray color that's a little darker back in here. Looks like there's a shadow kind of cast over this one right here. So. Remember, the light's over here, so this is the shadow side of this hill. And all right, so now I'm gonna jump into this. Road, and this is a very light gray with a almost white, almost sky color that runs right across like a ridge right here. Right in this area is kind of the lightest value of the road. But mostly we're just dealing with a gray that's got some blue in it, and so I'm just going to mix a cross complement gray real quick, and I think I'm going to take let's see here, it's got to be a kind of a warmer gray. So I'm going to take some yellow, some alizarin crimson. I'm going to get kind of an orangish color, and I'm going to start mixing some ultramarine blue in that. And let me show you what's going on here. I'm just going to mix. So I started out with an orange that kind of looked like this. I had some yellow and some ultramarine, so it's kind of this orange color. And I just started getting some blue in there, and then I was just gonna kind of half tone it and see what I have. So I do have a nice warm gray. This gray is kind of its darkest up in here, but it's still very, very light. It's almost as light as the sky, not quite. So I would say this is my let's get that thinned out a little bit so we can get that on here. I just realized I wasn't even showing you what I was doing. So this is kind of where the the road is just going back here and sort of disappearing. So this area is where it's getting the most light. So that's a little bit lighter, and then it gets a little darker down in here, down in this very bottom section. And we want a little bit of a contrast between this highlight on the road, which lives right in there, and then this area, because this is pretty much in shadow down here. And then this part right through here is just about as light as that out in the distance there, so I'm just going to highlight that. All right. All right, so I'm going to go back into the sky. I need to get that defined before we start going over it. So, and I think the sky will help me figure out what this color is. I actually believe it to be more, instead of that purple, it's kind of a bright purple color right now. I think it's actually a lot more ultramarine than that. So I think it's closer to this, actually. I think it's more ultramarine, but I'm going to kind of let the sky help me define that. So all right, here we go. Let's just paint for a couple minutes. Alright, so the values are actually working now, so I feel much better about these blues, even though they're still really pretty purple. I like that it's more of a gray blue, and it could probably even be even a little more of a gray blue. Just testing something out here. Yeah, it's pretty gray right now, so it's got some warmth and some cool in it, which is what I was hoping for. So and then I'll just take this down just a little bit down in here, because it's getting a little bit closer to us, so it's starting to take on some of these same colors that we have in here. So just get a little more warmth in there. Alright, so now we're just going to mix up a really nice dark green. So I'm going to take some yellow ochre and some blue here. And then we may need some yellow in there just to get this nice and dark. Need a lot more blue in it. And then we're just going to come in here and define these trees real quick with this kind of this dark color. we need something nice and dark because we got some highlights to pop off of this. So there we go. And they're almost one of the darkest things in the landscape here. And they get a little bit yellower. And then right along here is a hillside that is really, just really singing. So it kind of comes along here. All right, so now we've got some trees that are up in here. Some of them are going up into here. We've got branches to put on here. We've got some darks and lights. Some darks and lights that are actually in here. Some of these darker areas are actually darker than they appear right there. So we've got to come in with some darker areas in here. Even darker than that in some places. And so we'll jump back to a time lapse here, and I'm gonna work on those elements, and we'll see how this goes here. This piece here definitely needs to come up above here. All right, so I'm just gonna do just a couple more things, and then I'm gonna kind of let this one settle in my mind a little bit. I just needed to increase the darkness of this forward section right here. So I was just pulling some gray that I actually mixed from multiple. Just want to touch of blue in that actually. I mixed it from, well, basically I just took my palette knife and I scraped all my colors together earlier, and it just came up with this amazing gray color. So I've actually been kind of pulling colors in and out of that pool as well. So, and then this kind of light area right here stays. And I think that shows really well how that goes down, and then we've got those highlights in the distance there. Got these highlights in here, and I'm just going to taper that off just a touch. I just want to catch the top of this right here. Just like that. And then I've just got some kind of white birches that are back here in the distance. So I'm going to take a little bit of that gray and a little bit of white, and they're just like right just like right in here, and there's just a few of them that are just highlighted right here. And if those are a little bit too bright, I'm just gonna kill them just a little bit. Just needed just a few secondary branches here. All right, so thanks so much for hanging out with me and checking out the painting video. There are a few photographs that I have that I really want to paint from this trip. So this is just the beginning. I really like this distant mountains here and kind of how that sets off from the scene. They're so far back there. But they contain, you know, all of these colors. So when I pulled in those grays that I mixed from pulling all this together on my palette and mixing it up, it really got what I wanted to happen back there and got rid of kind of that bright purple that we started with. And I think this willow could have been maybe a little different, but I like how it sets off against this middle ground. So, and really this path here with this highlight on that bank and these trees are, I mean, that's really what this is all about anyway. So you get this huge field of gray that doesn't really mean anything except that it just leads you into the painting. And yeah, I really like it. So awesome to be doing a video for my Plein Air channel again, and hopefully more of these to come really soon. So I'll find a balance so that I can maintain this, because I just miss it so much. But anyway, yeah, so I'll catch you later. I hope you're well. Bye.